I think we need to start the year by making sure everybody again, because I know when you were at Orakabessa, you were like a rock star. You walked out on the stage and said, "Does everybody have my number?"
And everybody raised their phone. And
17,000 people.
They're like, "Brad, are you kidding me? You're giving us your number again?" I'll never forget that. I have that on video too. And then I remember seeing the people in the front row because I can't see too far.
You're like me.
Yeah, I can see close, but I can't see far. But I remember seeing the people in the front row. They were all laughing like, "Oh my God, he's giving his number again." 1-800-526-7977. Mark, how are you?
Hi, Brad. I'm just calling to find out. I was convicted of a felony in '96.
What was the felony
I'm
for?
trying to find out possession.
Possession of
controlled substance.
Okay.
Controlled substance.
Yes.
And I'm trying to find out if I can apply for my citizenship after the amount of years.
Well, when in '96 were you convicted?
I think it was February.
February 1996.
I had a case from before. In 90, and I plead, and then they caught me, and then that was in '96.
But did you plead guilty before April of 1996?
No.
You pled guilty after April '96.
After.
Okay. And did you go through a deportation process at all?
No.
Never did. All right. What I would suggest you do is this. I'm not going to tell you over the radio to go file your citizenship because there's multiple issues. Number one, I got to look at your dispositions and determine if you pled guilty after April 1996. We got to determine if you have some relief from deportation. If they were to put you in deportation, do we have a possibility of winning your case? And that will depend on what you pled guilty to, when you pled guilty to it, and whether it's an aggravated felony or not. Just because you plead guilty to a felony doesn't necessarily mean it's an aggravated felony for immigration purposes. If you have an aggravated felony after April 1996, you can't get 212C waiver. You can't get a 212C waiver for any conviction after April 1996. But if you have an aggravated felony and it's after April 1996, you have no relief from deportation. So if you were to file your citizenship, two things would happen. They would deny you, they would put you in deportation, you get deported. Now, in order for you to be eligible for your citizenship, we got to determine whether or not, in fact, you pled guilty to an aggravated felony or not. Because if it's not an aggravated felony, then you are eligible for citizenship. And if it's also not an aggravated felony, the second step is to determine whether or not, if they choose to put you in deportation for your conviction, whether or not you have relief from deportation. Because this is what it comes down to. You need 5 years good moral character. Okay, so I assume you don't have any criminal record in the last 5 years. So let's assume that's right. So let's assume that, and you pay your taxes, and you've been a choir boy. That makes you eligible for your citizenship, unless, of course, you have an aggravated felony. If you have an aggravated felony, we're not doing it. Now let's assume you don't have possession. Possession is generally not an aggravated felony. Okay, so I'm going to take the assumption it's not, but I got to see your disposition to be certain. Now. If you don't have an aggravated felony and it's just a drug conviction, now you're just looking at a drug conviction. That's what you have, but it's not classified as an aggravated felony for immigration purposes. You have 5 years good moral character. Now that makes you eligible for citizenship. The only way they can deny your citizenship legally is to put you in deportation, because even though you're eligible for citizenship, you still have this drug conviction that makes you deportable. So then the second step of the analysis has to be, if they choose to put you in deportation and deny your citizenship because now you're in deportation because you do have a drug conviction that makes you deportable, can we beat your deportation case? And that's going to determine whether or not we're going to do your citizenship. So I don't think it's something that you can figure out, in a 2-minute telephone call over a radio show. That's going to need something that you're going to need to bring in your dispositions, and we're going to have to make that determination right here in the office after we see exactly what you were charged with, what you pled guilty to, and look at your whole rap sheet.
Okay.
All right, and we're going to go to Dean. Dean, how are you?
Yeah, good morning, Brad.
Good morning.
Okay, I filed for my daughter, and the last time I spoke to the immigration, I think in December.
Yes.
They told me they're waiting in Kingston for an interview for the little girl.
Are you a citizen?
No, I'm a resident.
Okay, when did you file for her?
think it's about 8 months ago. But the immigration officer told me that the case is closed, so they're waiting on Kingston now.
No, the case isn't closed. The case was transferred. Are you at the National Visa Center, or was the case transferred already to?
Yeah.
Was the case transferred already to Kingston, or is your case at the National Visa Center?
I think it's at Kingston. It says final, so I don't.
What do you mean?
That's Kingston.
What do you mean it said final? Nothing ever says final. There's no such letter that comes to you that says final.
Okay, the immigration.
Okay, because this is the story right now. Okay, your
Mm-hmm.
daughter's not eligible for her green card yet. If you filed an I-130 visa petition for her, because they're only processing
Mm-hmm.
cases up to April 15th, 2013. Meaning people who started
Mm-hmm.
their cases April 15th, 2013 are now getting their green cards. You told me
Mm-hmm.
you filed for her 8 months ago. So 8 months ago,
Right.
okay, 8 months
Mhm.
ago, that means her priority date is somewhere in early 2014, which makes her 8 or 9 months away on the
Mhm.
visa waiting list. 8 or 9 months away on the visa waiting list. Her case is not in Kingston, Jamaica. So if you believe her case is in
Right.
Kingston, Jamaica, it's not. It's if your I-130 was approved, it's most likely at the National Visa Center.
Everything is up.
How much?
Everything is approved.
Okay, I understand. How much? Yes, her I-130 is approved. This is what's happening. Her I-130 is
Lovely.
approved. Her I-130 is approved. The case gets transferred
Mhm.
to the National Visa Center, which is in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You're about 8 or 9
Mhm.
months away on a visa waiting list unless you become a citizen. That when you're 8 or
Okay.
9 months away, they don't transfer the case to Kingston, Jamaica. It's not completed. It's not done. It's not
Okay.
final. You have an approved I-130 visa petition. You're on a waiting list. Your daughter's on a waiting list. As the dates get closer, they're going to start sending you information for affidavits of support, for biographic
Mhm.
data, to pay the visa processing fee. But you're approximately 8 months away. My advice to you, Dean, is it doesn't sound like to me that you understand the whole process. And if you don't understand the whole process, you're driving blind. It's like getting behind the wheel of a car, putting on a blindfold, and driving. Okay? I think you need the help of a lawyer, just in the bare minimum, to have a consultation so you understand what you're doing and where you're going. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring these statistics tomorrow, DJ Roy. As a matter of fact, I just read statistics that the Board of Immigration Appeals did. I don't remember the exact numbers of the statistics, but I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. That the difference between having a representation of a lawyer in an immigration court versus not having representation of a lawyer in an immigration court, the difference in winning your case is like over 50% more greater odds of winning your case being represented by a lawyer than representing yourself. And those are true statistics by the Immigration Service. I'm going to give you the exact statistics tomorrow. I forgot the exact numbers, but I'll give you them tomorrow. But in the meantime, Dean, I think you need a consultation.
Yeah, but I do the affidavit support and everything already. They sent for that already, and I sent
Well, then maybe your priority date is more than 8 months ago. Then.
Okay, but
right.
they sent for everything.
Okay, so maybe you filed in 2013 and not 2014.
Okay, probably that's why they look at it then.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's what
my advice is, Dean, if you want, it's worth $100. That's what our consultation fee is. Come down.
Absolutely.
It's worth $100 to make sure your daughter's on the right track, and let's make sure everything is going good, and then we'll fill you in on what needs to happen.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay, I know where you are.
Okay. We're gonna go to Sonny. Sonny, how are you?
Hey, Brad. How you doing, man?
What's up?
My question is, I have filed a provisional waiver before and it got denied. There's some more information. The new law or executive order that Mr. Obama is helping people with, is it going to make it any easier for those waivers to be approved, or is it going to be the same standard?
You did a provisional waiver already that got denied?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got denied because they require some more information.
Okay.
My wife went to...
The answer is, if it got denied, you have every right to file it again. And from everything that I'm reading and learning about, is that they're making the requirements for the provisional waiver a little easier. So I would suggest, I don't know who did it, whether my office did it or a different office did it. Or
your office.
Okay, fine. All right. So then what I would suggest we do is come back and let's try again. And when you come back and try again, we'll obviously give you a very, very good fee. But they've made it easier now since probably when we've tried it before.
Because the letter they send, they require more information from the psychologist or psychiatrist or something.
Right. So I think the if you think about it as like you think of like a high jump, the bar has lowered a little bit, so we don't have to jump as high. All right.
Okay.
So now the bar hasn't lowered in terms of the law. The bar has lowered that through these executive orders. Obama's saying, hey, be a little easier. Make the bar a little lower. Okay. So so what you do is I'm going to put you on hold and make an appointment to come back to see your attorney who is representing you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. 1-800-526-7977 is certainly worth trying again. Ken, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm okay.
What's up?
I have a son, that's in Barbados. He born here in Brooklyn.
Right.
And he went to the Caribbean to bury his uncle. And once he was there, the wife died. So he stayed a little longer. He was traveling with
wife died,
a CARICOM passport.
meaning his aunt. Whose wife died?
Yeah,
the uncle died. The uncle died, and then when
their wife died.
The wife of the uncle, which would be your son's aunt. Okay.
So he had to go and bury
2 people. Okay.
Yeah. So he stayed, he traveled with a CARICOM passport and his natural born paper.
Uh-huh.
Now he wanted to re-enter. He went to Barbados and they're telling him, that they think that these are not real. Because he used to live in Hawaii first and then he went to the Caribbean to bury these people.
Okay, so he has no U.S. passport and he's having trouble getting it back to prove he's a citizen.
Yeah.
Okay, so he needs the help of a lawyer. We're going to get him documents to prove he is who he is. He would need to call us from Barbados or wherever he is right now and have a phone call.
His mother is an American born here. She's a Geechee. She's a public school assistant principal at PS 399.
Okay, so we can definitely retrace his steps. We can retrace his roots and prove he is who he is. It's not going to be a problem.
Man graduated at Brooklyn Tech.
Okay, we're going to be able to do all of that.
So,
but he needs the help of a lawyer. He needs the help of a lawyer. Basically, the problem is, he's just presenting. He never obviously got a U.S. passport. And because of that,
traveling with his board paper all the time.
Right, and because of that,
now to change it around.
Exactly, he's having trouble proving he is who he is. It's hard to prove you are who you are with a birth certificate.
That's what I need about this attorney on this case.
You're talking to him.
All right, so I'll put me back on hold, and I give you my wife's cell phone, and she will contact you and pay the.
Perfect.
How much is the consultation?
Consultation fee is $100. It's well worth it.
Okay.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
I know that.
Okay. All right, 1-800-526-7977. We're up against time, DJ Roy.